Hello, I'm your host, Leonard Duncan. Welcome to a new episode of ATV-TALK and Motorsports Podcast. Please join us every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We bring you interviews with industry professionals, live events, live news about the motorsports industry in every episode. Enjoy the show. Kinsey Osborn, how are you, young lady?
I'm great, Leonard. How are you?
I'm awesome. Hey, welcome back to ATV Talk. It was great to see you at the Legends race. Your father has one hell of a facility there, you know?
Yeah, he put a lot of work into that race. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears, many months. A lot of planning went into it, and I'm glad it turned out the way it did. And I hope that he's proud of himself a little bit for it. But yeah, it was awesome.
He probably has to be because I don't think anybody envisioned that it was going to be that awesome.
Yeah, no, especially myself, going up, leading up to the race, I didn't think it would be nearly as big as it was. I mean, but I also didn't know a lot of the legends. I kind of wasn't really aware like how like I guess cool and like legendary it really was until I saw it. And I didn't know many of the legends myself, but I was expecting them to be. I'm This is no hate whatsoever, but I was expecting it to be a little like the guys not as fast as they were, but then they came out and they were hitting Bigfoot first lap, and I was like, oh no, they're the real deal. Like, this is not what I expected at all,
And and
in
I
a good
knew that
way.
I knew that you weren't going to be expecting it because you just weren't into it at that time.
Yeah, it was before my time for sure.
So, what's the deal with the lights behind you?
So I'm in my dorm room. I share this room with one other girl, and it's connected. The door behind me is has another room, and the two other girls are in there. But my roommate is gone right now. Thank God, because she's probably really annoyed with me. But the lights, that's my decoration. That's my side of the dorm room. I just have some fairy lights with pictures of my friends from home and my family. But yeah, there's my lights.
So, how far away from home are you?
I'm about an hour and a half, but I'm actually going home Saturday. I got a
You miss
couple
mom and
things
dad
I gotta
already,
do.
huh?
Yeah, I
So,
have my car here.
your dad allows
So
you to drive?
yeah, I've driven 5.5 hours has been my longest drive.
Okay.
So this is cake work compared to that.
Well, you got to pat dad on the back for letting you take the keys and letting you take the car.
Right.
But I want to get into a conversation that we've never had because we were always in the middle of a season. The season's over. You've clinched your third title. Your streak is still ongoing, but basically we can talk about it openly. You've won what, 49 straight motos?
45 actually.
45 straight motos. Um, I want to know from where your position, nobody's ever done that in any division in motocross.
Really.
How does that make you feel? I mean,
Um,
not necessarily feel, but what are you thinking about that?
I mean, I never really gave it much thought until this season. I mean, last year we never really, no one ever really talked about it. I never thought about it myself. I was just kind of thinking, I'm here, I'm doing what I gotta do, and having fun doing it. But I think it's cool. I mean, I don't like to toot my own horn a lot, but I never gave it much thought that no one else has done it either. I'm sure someone will eventually, of course. There will always be someone better out there, and that's just facts. But yeah, it's cool to do. I mean, I'm not letting it get to my head. I'm just kind of like, okay, that's cool, but I still have goals and more things I need to work hard for and work hard towards to accomplish in the coming years. So, such as like with A class and on the racing against the boys side of it, I have a lot of unfinished business there, and kind of was a little disappointed in myself how I finished for the year in points. against those guys. So that's I got goals for next year, and I'm not letting this the streak like affect any of it. I'm taking it with a grain of salt and moving on from it and continuing to do my hardest every race.
You have written yourself into the history books, okay, and you're going to continue to race in the WMX. You made that
Yeah.
clear the last time we spoke.
Hmm.
Where do you see Kinsey in motocross in 5 years?
In 5 years, oh man, let's see. This is 2024. 5 years, 2029. I would like to, for sure. I want to be in Pro-Am, but not just in Pro-Am, but like competitively in Pro-Am. Let's see. Next year I want to do a class again. So that's what, 2025 season.
Yep.
And then hopefully move up to pro sport 2026, probably 2027 as well. Um, it just depends on how good I do in pro sport to move up to pro am, or no, eventually, no, yeah, move up to pro am because I wouldn't want to do pro sport, pro am, and WMX. That would be way too much. But I want to at least be in racing pro am class in 5 years.
So, there's rules for the pro class in the men's pro class. They have to ride a factory machine. In
Yes.
2025, they're going to have to ride a factory machine in Pro-Am.
Mm.
Do you believe that WMX, it being a pro class, should be under the pro rules?
Yeah, I don't agree with the whole factory ride for WMX, mainly because I didn't want to switch at the time. But I actually have gotten the chance to ride some Yamahas. Tim Detling brought some down to the track a couple weeks ago, and I got to test them out. So the thing for me about it, where I stand on it is I'll switch when I have to, for as of right now. I do like the Yamaha. Not sure if I like it more than my hybrid though, but it's nice. It's definitely something I could get used to if I had to. Yeah, but for now it's just kind of like we're waiting until we kind of have to switch.
So you
Which,
didn't totally answer my question.
okay, I'm sorry. What was your
So
question again?
WMX is not, it's considered a pro class.
Yeah.
Should it be the same pro rules as the men's pro class?
See, in theory, I'm supposed to say yes, but I just I don't want to be forced to ride a Yamaha yet. That's just my opinion. Um,
You could ride a
but
Honda.
aside
You
from
could
my
ride a Suzuki. You
opinion,
could ride a KTM. It has to be a
if
production model machine.
if I wasn't okay, yeah. If I wasn't racing, then I would be like, oh yeah, of course they should have the same rules as pro class, whatever. But I personally don't want to ride a production bike.
At this
So
time.
at this time, no.
So when a sponsor comes to you and says, this is how we want to sponsor you, how are you going to handle that?
Oh well, if someone's willing to sponsor, give me a nice Yamaha. I mean, they could come over my way. I don't care. The only thing that's stopping us right now from a Yamaha is just the upkeep of it, and you got to put so much work into making it like competitive, like a competitive machine, and it's just not something we're willing to do right now, and it's a big commitment, and especially for a guy like my dad, because obviously I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to building bikes. So my dad, it's kind of up to him on the switch, and he didn't seem too big of a fan of it when I after I rode those Yamahas a couple weeks ago. But
So I'm
yeah,
going to
we'll
need
see.
to
He
have a
could
sit
change his
down
mind.
I'm going to have a sit down conversation with your dad, right?
Yeah, he'd probably be the better one to talk to about it. I'm just the rider. I don't make the big executive decisions like that.
Yeah, at this point.
I would ride, honestly, I would ride anything. Um, I don't really care what I ride. It's my dad's decision.
Do you think that you were as fast on the Yamahas as you are on your hybrid?
Tim, he took some lap times for me, and I was about a second slower on the Yamaha. Or a little, well, one of the laps it was a second slower, and the other laps it was like the exact same, maybe like a tenth of a second slower. But I got to keep in mind that's on, like, I rode Mason Jackson's practice bike and JJ Launderville's, and those are two completely different setups. Neither are for me.
Right.
Um, Obviously, because JJ is super tall and his stuff's like built up more, and Mason's is the opposite. But yeah, the setups weren't for me, but I feel like if I had a bike built for me and the setup was right, then I would probably be the same. But I only did a few laps. I maybe did like 10 laps on each bike total for the day. Like, I was just starting to get used to it by the end of it.
Whether we are out riding with our friends and family or racing in extreme environments, we all need good tires. That's why I recommend GBC Power Sports Tires, a division of Greenball Corp. Their products, which include XC Master, Mini Master, and Groundbuster 3, are what leading professionals in the ATV-UTV industry are using. You can get your tires at greenballtires.com or find them on Instagram as GBC Tires for further inquiries. So you're not against it.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
You just don't
It would
change the
take a
rules.
little getting used to, but
Do you think that if they changed that rule in the WMX, it would hurt the class?
I would say yes, because not everyone can afford to make a switch like that, and not everyone gets new parts and a brand new built bike every year, you know. Some people are just kind of like scrapping with what they have, and that's fine. Yeah, I feel like we would definitely lose even more racers than we have now, and we already don't have great numbers in WMX. So I think it would only hurt that class in particular.
Do you think the ladies in the WMX are rising to the occasion, just like the men are in the pro class chasing Joel? Do you think that they're rising to the occasion chasing you?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I feel like everyone puts in hard work. All the girls work hard. There'll definitely be a time where someone comes along and they beat me. I mean, it's inevitable. There's plenty of fast girls, younger girls that will move up. Um, I've watched them. I support them. I've talked to all of them. But yeah, there'll come a day where I won't be the fastest, and that's fine. I mean, that's just how it is. It's the same with like Joel, for instance. He's not. I mean, he's breaking records right now, but there will come a day where he won't be the top dog anymore. That's just how it is, and that's how it goes. But it's cool to see. Yeah.
Do you do you feel that there's any bias in coverage as far as Kinsey Osborn wins 45 straight motos, Joel Hetrick wins 19 in one season, and he's got all the coverage, and they haven't even mentioned you hardly.
I'm not one to complain about stuff like that. I have noticed it myself, but I'm grateful to be covered at all and have any recognition towards the women's side of this sport, because before within the past 2 years, we've gotten a lot more attention than we used to, if you know what I mean.
I do.
Uh, Before the WMX program was even really the WMX program, there wasn't really much of one a few years ago, and it's come a long way. And I'm happy for any change, any little bit of attention, as small as it may be compared to the men. I'm just grateful to be a part of it and be able to grow the women's side and represent them, and be someone the younger girls can look up to and be like, hey, I want to be like her. And then we have more girls coming in and racing and have more numbers.
So have you talked to your dad about a legends race for the ladies?
No, I heard a little chatter about it on Facebook, but that's about it. I'm not sure. That would be really cool though. I'd love to see that myself. There's a few names I've always heard about, like I think Heather was one of the names. Heather, Angela
Those,
Moore.
Angela Moore,
Yeah. A few others. I know the faces, not the names. One of them talked to me at Loretta's actually.
Angela.
Uh,
Angela
mm,
was there. Or Angela, not at Loretta's. Angela was at the Legends race. Angela
it
Moore.
was, yeah, it wasn't her. It was a different girl. I can't remember names to save the life of me, but she used to race ace class as well. Um, I talked to her for a good bit and it was really cool, but I would love to see a women's legends race. That'd be awesome.
It would be. I think so too. To bring them back. Unfortunately, just just this week, Angela Moore's had a health scare.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah. Um,
Oh,
I don't know if I'm privy to say, but there is a GoFundMe page for her because she has had a medical issue, and she's going to be needing all of our support
oh
here.
wow, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a
Yeah,
she
that's
was at a
really
fair
unfortunate.
race and laid down because she didn't feel well, and it turned into a major health scare. So
Oh, really?
if everybody in the ATV world could reach out and help her out, that'd be great.
Yeah, my condolences go to her and her family. That's awful.
Yeah,
Hope
she's
she gets
she's super
better.
fast though, but she won
Yeah.
races on the East Coast and the West Coast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was the real deal.
Oh man, I loved watching her ride. I mean, kind of like getting to watch you ride. I mean, you're super dominant, and you don't even realize that you're going as fast as you are. What other than your dad having a track, what other reason do you think it is that you're so fast?
Um, I'm not really sure. I mean, I got a little bit of muscle on me. I'm not sure if that really does anything. I do lift weights. I like I got some strength to me, I like to think. Um, I don't know. I like to work out. I just I'm also just a very determined person, very competitive, really aggressive. Like I played sports growing up, almost a lot of different sports growing up, but basketball was a really aggressive one for me. That's how I let out all my anger and just I don't know, I've just always been competitive and just really liked fitness and all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm not really sure how to describe it, but
How do you
um
play basketball with fingernails?
I didn't have nails on for basketball, but I got them on after basketball ended.
So, as far as sports go for you now that you're in college, are you in college for education, or are you going to play some sports while you're there?
Education for sure. I might join like an intramural basketball team for fun, but that's just kind of like it's not very serious at all. It's like I said, just something to do, something to do for fun if I end up having time for it. But if not, my main focus is the education part down here.
How heavy is your workload for school right now?
It's not too bad. I have about 15 credit hours, which is about 5 classes. I got around 3 classes each day. My first day of classes was today actually, so I haven't even been in some of my other classes. I have six counting my it's called a learning community. It's mostly like a study group, but yeah, 5 to 6 classes. Um, and I just started today, so I can't really tell you too much about them yet. But
What is your major? I guess that's what you
major,
call it.
okay, yeah, I'm business undecided right now. I was business management slash administration, I believe, before orientation, but I decided just to change it because I wasn't too sure what route I wanted to go down yet. I just knew it was going to be business related. Um, I'm kind of on the fence of wanting to have my own business in the future, possibly like race related, or maybe go a completely like 180 route um, and get into real estate. But I haven't decided yet.
Real estate's going to make you way more money than racing.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I just not sure yet,
And
but
I don't think your dad's going to want to be working in the shop putting bikes together for you while you're out selling.
right. I don't blame him.
So you're gonna have to find another mechanic.
Right. Yeah, I probably got to start looking now.
Yeah, you better get on that.
Yeah.
Do you think that as your career progresses, that your dad's going to maintain your machines and keep doing that for you?
I would say so, yeah. He's just got a lot of passion for the sport, and I just got a wonderful dad in general that's willing to do things and go to those lengths for me. But I agree. I also agree that I need to do my own part and help him out a little bit because that is a lot of work for one person, especially someone who runs the entire motocross track. Um, but yeah, I think he would do it, but I would feel too bad to make him do it for that long. I mean, there'll come a time where I'll probably, I mean, like what I'm trying to say here is I won't be racing until I'm like 50, obviously.
How do you
But
know?
there'll come a time where it might not be worth it for me anymore or him, and until that time, we have fun and I'll try my best. But yeah.
So the being back there at the racetrack at Briarcliff, is that a name that you guys came up with in the family, or was the track already there, that name?
No, well, see, my dad made the track. He like made the whole thing himself. Like the track wasn't there. It was just a bunch of trees in the backyard, and he like built it from the ground up pretty much. And named it himself. I'm not really sure why he picked that name. I would just guess because Briarcliff Road is where it is. It's on Briarcliff Road. But yeah, my dad, he made the track all by himself. They built our house there, and then the house was built like right after I was born, like probably like a few months or so after I was born. And then he started the track about maybe a couple years after that, not too long
Has your
after that.
has your family heritage come from that area?
Yeah. So my dad's mom and dad, so my grandparents on my dad's side, they actually own that land, and their house is on the land too. It's hard to explain where it is, but it's kind of like up by the Grove Road. I don't know if you noticed it when you came in. It's where the old track entrance used to be, at the top of the hill there. They're kind of in the woods, their house is. But yeah, that's his parents' land, technically. And yep, that's kind of
So
like the family
so
thing.
the Osborne Road is because of your family history.
See, yeah, I'm pretty sure because my grandpa, he grew up in the area too, and then his parents, so my great grandparents were lived around there. So yeah, there's a long history of Osborns around here.
That there are some really cool houses in that area that we really enjoyed seeing,
Yeah,
the sites. Valeria got to do some video work where she would, went around and videoed some of the stuff that we drove by and just really enjoy the time of year that we get to
yeah,
go there. I
right.
do not know if I would want to be there in the wintertime though.
Oh, it's pretty cold. Not too bad compared to some of the northern states, but it gets pretty cold here. I actually can't wait till it gets cold, matter of fact, because this whole past week has been 90 degrees, and I'm walking to my classes today, just miserable, but I can't complain. I love it here, but it's supposed to be 95 degrees tomorrow, which is even worse. So I can't wait till it gets colder out. At least like a good like 70s, low 70s is what I like. It's
That's
like
Southern California, but it's not
yeah,
70s here. I don't care what anybody tells you. When I'm
yeah,
working at our shop and it's 95 plus, it's it's more than 100 degrees in the shop.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the heat. I'd rather be cold.
Uh,
I'd rather ride in 36-degree weather than 90s.
it's only because you're young.
Yeah.
When you get older,
I
when you get older,
suppose.
it'll change. So I want to get back on track a little bit. So there's an autograph session at almost every race for you guys. Sometimes they have a little
Right.
hiccup and it doesn't happen. But when we were at the Legends event, were you a little shocked when you got off the track and the line disappeared down next to the starting gate?
Oh yeah, dude, I did not expect to be sitting there for 2.5 hours. And I still had my gear on because yeah, I just got off the track not too long ago before the signing started from my A class moto. Uh but yeah, I was kept my gear on because I didn't think it would take too long because it's always only taken like an hour most, you know. But I never really took into account. I forgot that the Legends guys would be there with us, and the line, it seemed like for a good hour, it just never even got shorter. It was the same length because people kept hopping in and it never moved. And I ran out of my posters. I had a brand new stack, like a thick stack of posters. I ran out of it like an hour and maybe an hour and a half. And I started running out of my stickers too. It was crazy, but it was cool. It was I would hate if that was how it was every time, not gonna lie. But it
Why?
was a cool one-time thing. Just because it was, I don't know. It's just a little
Exposure.
too much for me.
You got exposure that you would not normally get.
Yeah, you're right. I need to shut up with the complaining. But
Stop complaining that I had to sign autograph
it
2.5 hours.
was really cool to see. And I'm glad it got to happen at my track.
Are you looking for the best suspension technology for your sport ATV? Look no further than Elka Suspension, the industry leader in sport ATV suspension technology. With championship wins in prestigious events such as the Dakar Rally, Score, Best in the Desert, ATV MX, Cross Country, and Works, Elka Suspension has established itself as the go-to choice for athletes and enthusiasts alike. But they don't just stop at ATVs. They're constantly expanding into new markets, including UTVs, trucks, SUVs, pit bikes, snowmobiles, and more. Their commitment to innovation and quality means they're always looking to improve and adapt so you can enjoy a smooth ride wherever you go. Want to learn more about what Elka Suspension can do for you? Visit their website at elkasuspension.com or give them a call at 450-655-4855. They will always be happy to answer your questions and help you find the perfect suspension solution for your needs. Yeah, because you
Um,
just had to walk home, right?
yeah. After that, I went straight up to the house and showered, and it was great.
I heard a rumor that after one of the portions of the day, you were outside the house, or the bike was outside the house being washed right there in the yard.
Yeah,
So
that's where I washed it, right on the edge of my driveway. Yep.
that's just so not fair.
Yeah. I know. But yeah, I wash I try to wash my bike as quick as possible after a race is over so I can go hang out with my friends. So I'm really on top of it with that stuff.
That's your portion of it. Wash the bike so they
Usually.
prep it.
Usually it is. My dad's probably laughing right now if he's listening to it. Well, when he listens to this, because there's been a couple of times he's washed my bike, but that's usually at the other tracks. But at Briarcliff, the Briarcliff race, I was responsible for my bike washing, and I did like a little bit more maintenance than usual on my bike for our race since my dad was busy on the track, like putting air in my tires and um checking my air filter, and Cody Roush actually helped me with some of this stuff as well. And also fueling up my bike obviously, but little things like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, those are all things that you've done in the past, though, right?
uh, Yeah,
Not
I
really.
know I know how to do them, but I'm really, yeah, I need to be on top of it more and help out more, like I said earlier.
So
But
has your dad taken you out and taught you how to change a tire in the car yet?
nope. uh,
Me and Jeremy need to have a talk.
yeah, I know. But knock on wood, I haven't had any issues with my car like that yet.
Right.
But
Well, have
there'll
you
definitely come a day.
have you learned how to change the oil in the car yet?
No, I just take my car to Valvoline. We got a Valvoline like 20 minutes from our house. So I just pay for it.
You're spoiled then, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I am. I'm not gonna lie.
Are there going to be any changes in your program for 2025 that anything that you know of at this point?
As of right now, I'm not entirely sure since I got school going on. The plan is just to ride as much as I can, honestly. Especially when it gets closer to the spring, not springtime, but like end of the winter, I guess I should say. Before like preseason, I would be going home more on the weekends, probably almost every weekend, if not every other weekend, for sure to ride, weather permitting. But I haven't talked to my dad yet about this, but I do for sure want to go down to Deckers a couple times. One time probably being on my winter break because it's about a month long. It's like halfway through December until like mid-January, I'm pretty sure. So one of my goals is to go down there for a little bit. That's if my dad can get off work. That's like the main problem with stuff like that is my dad has to work because he has a full-time job outside of the track. A lot of people don't know that. Um, but yeah, it just depends on when my dad can get off work for me to go south. It would be a weekend deal, but I mean, gotta do what you gotta do, right? Gotta get seat time.
Yeah, to go get trained, to
Yeah.
train and get in shape. Have you been racing with the same group of, you're gonna love this, young men that you race with now in the A class? Are they the same guys that you've been racing with all along?
Well, I haven't been racing against the guys for that long. My first full season racing a class other than like a girls class or WMX was last year, the B class. But I'm racing against those same guys this year in A, most of them, mostly the same of them. But yeah, a lot of them I'm friends with. A good half of them probably. But yeah, I'm not sure who all's moving up next year. I might not be racing with them anymore since I'm staying in A class, but I'm not sure who all's moving up. Yeah, I haven't really asked, but
A couple
it's
of them
fun.
will be because it's progression time for them.
Yeah, yeah. I'd imagine, yeah. What is it? Braden Orr will be moving up. Casey Fancher, I'd imagine. Maybe Vincent Dillon, probably. I'm not sure, but those would be my guesses.
Yeah, those are some fast kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could. I feel like if I could ride even more. I mean, I can't even be talking since I have a track in my backyard, but um I wish I could go down south and just like spend nearly half the amount of time some of those guys do and be privileged enough to go down there and ride for like weeks at a time, but I also chose this path like school and stuff, but sometimes I think about it, I'm like, man, what if I didn't go to school and I just went down and rode the whole winter, but that doesn't really pay for a house or a car or a life, so I gotta stay up here.
Let's just say that you asked your dad and your mom, hey, I want to take a year off school to do this. Would they take over that obligation to put you through racing for one season where you that's all you did for a year?
No, absolutely not. Even my dad would say, "Hell no." Excuse my language. But that's what my dad would say. He would be like, "There is no way you're doing."
So they're
So
back in the school thing 1,000%.
yeah, yep, they are.
It's great to race, and we're
Yeah,
going to support you doing that. But this is where you need to prepare for your future at the same time.
right. Yeah. It's like, okay, racing's cool, fun, whatever, but this is like the rest of your life we're looking at here. Um, how are you gonna support the racing if you don't even have like an income? You know what I'm saying? But
Do the people that you go to school with or that are close with there at school that don't know who you are, did they know that you are a famous female motocross champion?
um, if you mean like here on campus, I don't know a lot of people yet, but my roommates, my one roommate, she's actually from my hometown. She's one of my best friends. She knows about it and she's watched me race. She was actually at the race a few weeks ago. But the others, they know of it, but they don't know much about motocross in general, and I can't blame them for that. It's kind of like the same deal with the kids I went to high school with. They know about it, but they don't really know much about it at all.
And they just don't pay attention.
Yeah.
So they don't realize that they're friends with ATV women's motocross royalty.
No, I am not royalty, but I
Yeah,
appreciate
you
people
are.
who know
Yeah,
what
you
it is.
are. Yeah, you don't see it, but in a few years you will.
Maybe. I appreciate the compliment.
Trust me.
I'm trying to stay humble, Leonard. You're not
Well,
helping.
I'm not trying to blow your head up. I'm just trying to, when you go back and you look at how it rolls out, your name will, be come across like Angela Moore and Heather Rose and some of the other ladies that were champions, Andrea Berger. I mean, it's you're already in the group.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't really deny that. I just like that along with those names that you just listed, it's I just hope the focus goes back to women in general, not just obviously my name or their names, but our names as a group and who we represent, and that's all the little girls out there that race and want to get better. So it's just a cool thing to be a part of, honestly.
Explain the WMX does a promotion where the the gals that race in the WMX support a rider in a lower class. Are you guys still promoting that? Are you leading the charge on that, or is somebody else taking care of that?
Yeah, so before Andrea um kind of well, how do I put this in words? Before Andrea, she got pregnant and kind of took a step back from racing. My dad kind of took the ropes on the WMX program, but Andrea does still help out and organize it a little bit. But my dad, he kind of took the reins on it, I believe. And yeah, we have a group chat and we assign like like youth rider to WMX rider and kind of do all that planning accordingly preseason. Um, and yeah, there's also the social media accounts that I'm not a part of. I'm not logged into the social media, but there's a couple of them that run it, not just one person. But
What's the deal with you and social media?
uh I just not gonna lie, I'm pretty lazy when it comes to social media. I don't get on it a lot. I'm not really like Facebook, I get on maybe like once every few weeks. I'm really bad about that. I get on Instagram a little bit more, but don't really like posting a lot. It's just not my thing, especially when I'm busy. I don't know. I don't like to be on my phone all the time, I guess.
You have more important things to do than spend time on your phone.
Yeah, yeah,
Now it's going to be studying and school
right.
and elevating your education.
Yep, 100%.
That's so cool. Well, I wish that we knew a little bit more about the progress of the factory bikes versus the hybrids to know if that was
Hmm.
going to be an issue for you guys in the future. I've heard some rumors about a possibility of them making a rule change. Um, it wouldn't probably happen till 26, so I don't think it's something that would be immediate. It could be
Hmm.
27. You never know. It just depends on when the promoters want to change it.
Yeah, I'm not against the idea. I just hope that it doesn't take away our numbers since they're already so slim. But if all the other girls could afford it and we're down to do it, then yeah, I mean, I'd say why not? But I'm not sure how the other girls feel. I don't really know where they stand on it, but I'm not completely against it myself.
Are you ready to be captivated by one of nature's masterpieces? Discover the breathtaking beauty of Antelope Slot Canyon, a natural wonder in Page, Arizona. Join us on a guided tour and immerse yourself in the mystical light beams, rich colors, and serene landscapes. With tours at prime sunbeam hours, experience photographer's paradise and capture memories that will last a lifetime. Comfortable shoes, a camera, and a smile are all you need for this adventure. Book your journey today at Antelope Slot Canyon Tours and let the canyon enchant you. Please visit us now, antelopeslotcanyon.com, for more details. Yeah, I don't see, if you want equal playing time, like that's the wrong word. If
Equal
you
the
want,
playing field.
yeah, if you want a level
Yeah.
playing field,
Yeah.
then you need to have level equal rules.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. It's just I just would hate to see even less girls lining up on the gate next to me if that rule were to go into effect, but I guess we can only see. But yeah, I mean, I'm not against riding the Yamahas, but I just don't want to be lining up next to three other girls on the gate instead of like 10, because right now we only have like 10, a little under 15 or 10 people each round. And I mean, you even see the pro class. I mean, they don't have many people either, but there's
You had a
actually
lot.
a couple races. A couple times we had like one or two more than the pros, which
You had
is kind of weird.
retirements this year with Andrea and Neve.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure who else might be moving up next year. I think there might be a couple more, a year or a couple more years until we get more girls moving up, but I'm not entirely sure about that one either.
Yeah, Ellie had some conflictions with school for a couple of rounds, didn't she? Ellie Roush.
Um, yeah, she had her well, she only really missed one race for prom, I believe. But
A big thing, right?
other than that, I can't really think of something else. Another reason. Her and her uh twin brother Colin, they both skipped their graduation to go to High Point. So they haven't missed, I think they missed one or two rounds, but
It happens. It happens, right?
right. Yep, that's life.
Would you have missed graduation for a race? I know that your graduation was a week before a race, so you got lucky.
Yeah, I was very fortunate this year with my schedule, as far as conflicting with school goes, but I would say yes, I would miss it for graduation, miss my graduation for it, I mean, but my mom, she would tell no, she wouldn't let me do it. She would tell me no.
You're
And she
you're
said
going to
that before. She said
oh,
that before because the year it was my junior year season. Um, Graduation, or my school's graduation was like the same weekend as I think Sunset Ridge. And my mom was just brought it up. She's like, well, if your graduation's this time next year, you're not coming here to race. You're going to graduation. She's like, there's no way you're missing graduation. But
wow.
luckily we didn't have to go through that. and even fight over that. So
But at least they support you the amount they do, right?
yes, of course. My mom, I mean, obviously my dad, he supports everything and he's just the best mechanic, track owner, everything. But my mom, she supports me like no other. I almost get embarrassed sometimes because I'll go ahead and talk about it. It was actually today. I just got off the phone with her. I was telling her about school and stuff so far, but she was telling me about Digging Deep ATV-MX podcast. They
Yep.
posted something on Instagram about my back-to-back undefeated seasons or something like that, and it was on Facebook, I believe. Someone commented, I'm not sure who they are, but someone commented saying something like, "Oh, like the only girl that can beat this, like, end her streak is some girl's name. I forget her name. Some girl. I believe she's from Europe." But and then my mom's in the comments defending me, and I'm just like, "Mom, stop! Like, don't say anything. Like, she's just like,
That's great.
well, yeah. I don't even know what she said. I forget,
Well,
but
if that
it's
grows
just
so fast, why
embarrassing.
isn't she over here racing you, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I would love a little competition, not to sound anything like that, but I'm not trying to be cocky, but I mean, yeah, if she's willing to come over here, fly over here, like that'd be great. Awesome. Like we need more girls in the class. Like I would love to see, especially someone from I believe it was Argentina, not Argentina. Netherlands, I think it was. That would be cool just because we don't really have anyone from out of the country other than one girl. Her name's India Jacquees. I don't want to butcher her last name, but I believe she's our only foreign rider in WMX, and she's really cool.
Yeah, I butcher her name and I feel so bad. I just can't pronounce it. And
Yeah, and herself, she's pretty quick.
right. She's
She
been on the
does well
podium.
in WMX. She does well in WMX. Sorry, I'm getting tongue tied here.
Is she's gonna be back next year?
See, I'm not sure. I was actually wondering the same thing. She hit a decent amount of rounds this year, but not all of them. But the last few, she was at all of them. I'm pretty sure, like the last three or four, she was there consistently.
I didn't realize that Natalie Jackson was 16.
Yes, this is her first year on a 450.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
16 years
she's
old.
young. Yeah, she makes
Yeah.
me feel old.
Well, yeah. I mean, I get
Like
it.
I remember, I feel like I was just 16 yesterday, and now I'm like 18, and I don't know. I just feel old.
You're not old. Trust me. You're
And
not.
then talking to the younger girls I'm gonna be racing them in a couple years. It's just like I'm gonna feel even more old then. But it's
The
just part
transition
of
will
it.
happen. You'll grow up
Yeah,
and be
it's
the
inevitable.
oldest. You're not the oldest yet, but you will be someday.
Right? Yeah. I don't even know who the oldest. Many. We don't have old girls really in our class. We're all relatively young, like
I just
early
talked to
20s.
Shelby. I just talked to Shelby, and I
Shelby
asked,
Cabrando.
yeah, I can't
Yeah.
pronounce her last name, but um, her episode is tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Well, this will be weeks ago when this comes
Mm,
out, and people hear me say that, but it'll have
okay,
already
yeah.
aired. But yeah, I got to talk to her. I think she's 24.
Yeah, she's pretty young.
Yeah,
She's
she's
probably like the oldest of us too, I
yeah,
believe. I might be wrong, but
maybe she's younger than that. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to go back and listen now and remember what she told me. But yeah, her dad's a car nut, and that's how Shelby came to be.
oh, really?
And I couldn't pronounce her name when I met her, so she said, "Hey, just call me Shelby Cobra." You know,
Cobra.
works, right?
That's funny, yeah. Yeah, I
Because that's where
guess.
her name comes. That's where her name comes from.
Shelby Cobra.
Yep,
They ought to say that when they announce us on the gate. When they
exactly.
say all of our names.
They should.
That'd be
They
cool.
should.
She should get like a snake on her graphics, like on her quad, and to say like Shelby Cobra.
It would be
That
awesome.
would be sick. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna hopefully she listens to this and takes the idea and runs with it.
Yeah, she better. I hope to see that next year, Shelby, if you're listening.
That's cool. Young lady, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time. I know that it's only your first day of classes, but you're probably a little overloaded with things going on. It was really important that we talked about your streak and the fact that you have been pretty dominant the last 2 years. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to share us with your family and friends. The podcast is available on all streaming platforms, and you can find us on social media as ATV-TALK Podcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter.